Hello, everybody. It's Spoot with Fort Misery Gaming again, talking about Sinoalice. Interesting little thing. Just gonna put it together a quick video for you. We have a couple people asking like, what's the benefit of the metal shop? Are there things that are really good in there? And I figured I'd take a couple of minutes to kind of run through it. Now, these do get updated and change every so often, so it may be an issue that I just have to do one of these every time they throw some new crazy stuff in there, because the Medal of Desires get changed pretty much every time there's a banner, and then the Charm and Friend medals get updated as well. And then the Chronos medal change depending on what the event is. So we'll go through them and just kind of like take a look at them and see what you can focus on. So we'll do Charm medals first. This is kind of your catch-all. You have SR equipment. There's an SR Nightmare in here, maxed out. He's only got like 2,000 stats, so if you really need an SR, he's pretty good. Or you can get a weapon that's tailored to your class, which tends to be probably a little better. Like Sword of Bondage is max 60, almost 3,000 stats, and if you're a breaker, that would put you at 60% of that total, so 4,500-ish, so pretty good. Same thing for Minstrel, you're looking at 1,800, 3,000, give or take. And then, yeah, so all of the SR ranks in the Charm Medal exchange are pretty good. The Nightmares kind of give or take. You can get Pinocchio Paladin, so if you're hurting for some more Paladin points or skills or common stats or anything, 500's a lot, but you can get there. You can also get his Arcana specifically from here, and usually the buy gotchas, the ones that you can purchase, like Red Riding Hood Cleric, you can get their Arcanas from the Charm Shop. These do occasionally update as there are new things added, but that's kind of the general. You can buy a artifact here, an orb, Sealed Dragon Puppet. It's okay. It's not particularly great because, you know, mages. Once a month, you can spend 1,000 of these to get 300 Twilight Crystals. That's a full pull. That's pretty good if you can get that many. You're not really going to run that many because Charm Medals are either rewarded in PvP or they are a junction of limit breaking or combining or selling equipment, which you should never sell equipment. Don't do that. You should always be feeding them into other things since they boost skill levels. There's not a ton in here. You've got a set of armor, which is slightly better than the stuff we have, but they're pretty equivalent. Just to give you an idea. Ooh, sorry. Man, it's 3:30 in the afternoon. So you get about 1,500 stats off of it, a little less. You get Windblade skills off of it, so meh. These are some pretty decent ones. You can get the Nightmare Evolution materials. This is one of probably the better places to get them, even though they tend to be very expensive. You can pick up Nightmare Upgrade tablets. Also not a bad investment in case you're trying to drag a Nightmare up to some higher power levels. The books, also pretty good if you need some class mastery points. Like, that's 50,000 for 300. That's a lot. Book of Crisis, I believe, is 25. Yeah. So these are pretty good if you really need to get your class skills up, or if you're just looking for like little incremental values. You can get all your Coliseum gems. I think I have 5 left this month. These are pretty good. Like, I would farm these whenever you get a chance. Like, if you have the medals to grab them, they're definitely not a bad investment. But you can kind of use the charm medals to figure out where you are in general, too. You can get upgrade swords. Probably not a good use of them. Don't worry about story gems pretty much ever. Those are raid-based most of the time, so raid or story, and that's not a great place to be. Dragon Shackles, you can get some of those. You can get Dragon Eyes, Dragon Scales of all 3 colors. This is sort of a good place to fill up on scale specifically if you need to boost a weapon really fast. There's, like I said, the stamina to scale ratio is not good. It is, what would be a polite way of saying it? It is poop. Straight dookie poop. You've got the armor upgrades, you've got the armor evolutions. This is kind of your catch-all shop. You get some gold stuff at the bottom. They're fine. That's going to be the one that you probably pay attention to the most. You've got the Friends medals, so you can do the Red Riding Hood Sorcerer, I believe. You can buy her straight up, and then you can buy her Arcanas. You can get Arcanas for the Sleeping Beauty Sorcerer. You can turn things in for Twilight Crystals. I think it's like a one-time thing. Yeah, so 1. You've got some S weapons if you really, really need an S weapon. Although this thing has Warrior's Waltz 3. That's pretty good. I may have to look into that a little later. Some of these have skills on them that are decent, but they don't always have every weapon, so they rotate occasionally. Skill gems, same thing. I would use less of these for the weapon evolutions, just because you have less of them. Upgrade swords, same thing. You're farming those. Equipment or armor upgrades, same thing. Gold sacks, Like, I would primarily use these for, like, snagging the Arcanas and the Twilight Crystals when you get a chance. Like, I'll just take my 5 and be out of here. Yes, be gone. The Coliseum gems are probably what you're really gonna stockpile on. Like, eventually they won't matter as much because you'll have a ton, but keep an eye on it. Medal of Desire. This is the pity shop. So if you want a job, you can buy the job. If you want a weapon, you can buy the weapon. Like, Snow White's 1,500, her hammer's 1,500, so if that's what you're looking for, it's not the worst possible thing. You can straight up buy the Nightmare. So there are 2 things I want to warn you of. Collab medals, collab banners, and these are probably going to use the same medals. I don't want to promise you that, because Global has stated that some of these things will be done differently. We don't know exactly what things will be done differently because they haven't come out and given us sort of a roadmap for this is what to expect going forward. So I always want to preface with, I'm not sure because we don't have an exact answer. As of the NieR banner next week, we'll know for sure. And I'll have a little more of a in-depth review of the characters and sort of the weapons that are going into that one. So your medal exchanges for your pity medals, that's 15 pulls. You get 100 per, so be careful. Save these for things that you really, really want. Usually you want to buy the SR weapon that you're looking for. Occasionally you can snag a job. And if there's a particular Nightmare that's really good, like Eris is usable, but she's not like the most fantastic thing in the world. But if you really need a Nightmare and you're sort of set on weapons, like snagging a Nightmare is not a bad deal. Just keep those in mind. Chrono medals tend to be for events. So obviously you can buy all of your skill gems. You can usually get whatever Esper is in the event. Nightmare, excuse me. Same thing. Weapons. Purification tickets are actually pretty good to grab. Like, generally when an event's going on where you have chrono medals, you want to empty the majority of this shop. I haven't really sat down and grinded it completely out, or I've been picking and choosing what I've needed as I've gone. It is what it is. Royal medals. This is where the magic happens. So 7 of these get you a reasonably powerful stat-wise weapon. So you're looking at 3k right off the rip on stats. Usually these have pretty good abilities on them, like Wind God's Authority, slightly reduces physical and magic attack, so it's good for a debuff on hit. Forest of Darkness. This one isn't as good as I was hoping, so it greatly increases magic attack to 1 or 2 allies, so good for gunners and paladins, and that's about it. You do have the option of 3 metal weapons, which are also pretty good. The stats spread on these isn't quite as high, but it's pretty close, so like that's 2,021, 27 plus 763, so it's just shy of 3,000. And you've got like Knight's Nocturne 3, which is you greatly increase up to 2 allies physical defense, which is crazy. And then you've got these boys. You've got the starter Nightmares, which are pretty good. Freeze Golem, you're probably going to see a lot for the NieR raid because he buffs your water weapons and it's a fire event, so yay. Same thing with Lindworm and Oogaloo. They do roughly the same thing. Lindworm's going to be pretty good in the long run because I believe the Replicant is a water raid. The NieR Replicant banner is a water raid, so Lindworm will be usable. That's it. That's all the medals. These will change and get updated, so I'll probably go over it every time there is one to make sure that everybody's good. Keep with us. Do check up on the Discord. We do have the updated link in the UI in the video and in our info below. We are still working with Tanatime and Elite, so if you guys are looking for a guild, post up in there, and if we can't take you, we will find somebody who can, if you're looking for at least a semi-competitive guild. So go ahead and give us a like, comment, subscribe, tell us what you're liking. How hyped are you for the NIER event? I'm skipping it personally, but that's because I'm a minstrel and I'm a snooty little bastard. So that's it. Have a good time, and don't get miserable.